Today we're going to talk about the importance of tracking your trades and how tracking them in a software program called Tradervue enabled me to grow my account to be profitable in just 5 months. I know that day trading is very risky and only 5% or less of day traders are successful. And I wanted to show you why it took me entering my trades daily with great detail in Tradervue before I could become successful. So I'll pull up Tradervue and take you through what I do. Hi, I'm Lynn. And remember to give this video a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. So let's get going and talk about Tradervue. So here we are looking at Tradervue, and we're looking at in the calendar view. So I wanted to tell you about how I started with trading. I got the idea of scalping short-term trades from watching Ross Cameron. He's a day trader that's been at it for at least 20 years, I believe, and he's very profitable. He's made millions. And I thought, his ideas made sense. I've since then moved on to other types of trading. If you look at this, in Tradervue, there's the dashboard, and I'm actually showing you the calendar view here. In the calendar view, you can see each month. I actually started recording my trades in July of 2024. I started trading on the 18th of June, was tracking everything in a spreadsheet, and it was so much hassle, and I couldn't really figure out where I was having more success than elsewhere. And I was only trading 1 or 2 shares at a time because I know that the majority of day traders lose money and they blow up their account, which I did not want to do that. So I figured I had to learn to use level 2 and learn how to use Think or Swim, which is what I used to trade. And that was a new product for me. So in July, you could see all my 10 red days and only 9 green days. I was losing more, and you could see my tiny little profits because I was just doing small trades. I had lost $7.55 that month. So I was really glad I was trading in small amounts. So now the next month, you can see I lost $5. I had more green days. You can see my tiny amounts I was trading every day because I still overall lost money. This went on until I started analyzing things more because I listened to Ross, and he had said that he was having a really tough time for a few years. So he went back when it was a slow time and analyzed his trades in Tradervue and figured out that he was making the most money on small penny trades that have a low float. So in the middle of November, I started building my size to more shares. And when I analyzed my trades in November, I figured out I was doing best on mid-cap type stocks. That's like a $2 billion to $10 billion size company. And the float didn't really matter. Ross always trades a really low float, tiny, tiny float. So I'll show you some more detail about that in a minute. So in November, you can see if I open that up, I actually had a profit of $1,805. And you can see I did have some losing days. I lost $32, $6, $80, and then almost $400. But then you can see my winners are adding up until I finally had a whole green week, $842 and $1,121 in the last week of November. And I'll show you exactly how I did it, what I analyzed to find out where I was being most successful, and went forward from there. So what I did was, I'm going to analyze everything from, let's say, last month. Right now, when I'm recording this, it's the end of the first week in December. So if I put in the range of November 1st to November 30th, and I click that, I can go to detailed, and it shows you the detail of what you're doing, and it will show me even the stocks I traded that I was doing the best with, where I was losing, details about those stocks. So let's go ahead and look at that. So you can see my total for the month I already mentioned was $1,805, and my average day gain loss was $90 gain on average, and the average loss per trade was just under $10. So even though I had only 47% winning trades, I did win 178 and in 198 losing trades, which is a 52% loss. It's because my gains my winnings were so much larger than my losses that I ended up being profitable. So it's really good to be able to look at this data and analyze it. So to give you more, you can find out here what instruments you're doing well with. So you can see that in the month of November, I started analyzing and figured out, wow, I was doing really well on stock IONQ. And if you look at IONQ, I'm going to bring this up in FinViz. I use FinViz to let me know about news, let me know about the details of a stock. And again, as I mentioned, I had the most success in stocks that had a mid-market cap. So here it's $8 billion market cap and $186 million float. So I was doing the best on large float stocks. They don't move quite as fast as the penny stocks do. And also I noticed that most of the penny stock wins happen by 7 o'clock Eastern time, and I'm on Pacific, so that's insanely early for me. I tried it and I just couldn't keep up because I was so exhausted. So with mid caps, they don't take off until 9:30 Eastern time, which is 6:30 Pacific, and I can handle that. You can see the float was 186 million. So again, I do really well on stocks with floats anywhere between 186 and 350 million, and they do move pretty quickly. You'd be surprised. And also on this particular day, you could see it was up 5.6%. After hours, it went back down. But it will show you what it does in RVOL. Now, when I was listening to Ross with penny stocks, he'd have RVOL, huge relative volume for the stocks that he'd look for 3 or better. And for me, for mid cap, if you're 1.5 relative volume, that's a huge amount. That's compared to the volume that it trades on other days versus today. And you can see this the end of the day, so it's dropped back. But so a lot of people trade this stock. So I was doing really well on the stock. And of course, it's in a really hot sector right now that makes a huge difference. And it's a technology stock and computer hardware, and its focus is quantum computing, which is pretty hot. But it will tell you any news they have and the dates. It had news today for IONQ. Back to Tradervue. You can see the second one I did the best on was AI, then SWTX. These are the tickers, not the name of the actual stock, but the ticker itself. And then CLSK, IRIN, which is Iris. And then it shows you my symbols that I performed the worst on. So obviously I stay away from those because I found out I do better in certain stocks that are more consistent in their move up and then their move down versus some of these stocks have a really crazy volume. Every time you turn around, you're getting knocked out of the stock because it drops down really far. And I had problems with that with OKLO, HIMS. You can see SMR, some of these other ones, MARA, which is a great stock, but for some reason I had problems trading that one. And then again, it shows you the ones I did the best on. It shows you all kinds of detail in here, but one thing also I liked, it shows you win-loss days. I had 16 winning days and 4 losing days. The total gain loss of winning days was 2,314 versus 509 per losing day. And one thing I really, really liked about this, you can find out the day of time that you do best. So I tend to do really well earlier in the day. I can do okay a little later in the day, but when the market opens, it's really hot for me. And I'll show you how I determined that, so you want to know this information. Here, if we go ahead and look at, I want to show you the time of day. Okay, so if we go back to detailed on, this is the reports, detailed reports, and you scroll down, you can see the days and times. And I have the gold version, the highest version of Tradervue. I kind of moved up as I went along. I think it's like $50 a month because this is one of the reasons I wanted to know exactly times a day I was doing really well and get some more detailed reports. Here you can see the performance by day of the week. Shows you my performance was the worst on Thursday. So Thursdays I'm going to be really careful from now on. And shows you what I did each day of the week otherwise, and performance by hour of the day. So this is the standard you'd get with the lower versions of Tradervue, but I wanted to see more detail, so I upped it to the gold version, and then I could change over here the time frame to as small as 15 minutes. So when I did that, I could see, and these are EST times because I put in Tradervue that I wanted to see everything by Eastern time because that's how I think when I'm trading. And you can see I do quite well at 9:30, 9:45, 10 I do okay, but real well at 10:15, and then 10:30, a little lull here, not too bad. So I do well all the way through 11:15 EST. Then I get kind of tired, so need a break, have lunch, whatever, work out, and then if I want to continue on, if I'm not quite brought in the kind of revenue I can go back and trade some more. This is 12:45 and 1 and 1:15. But you can see later in the day, I don't do very well. So it shows me to keep away from those times of day. It's really, really helpful. It's really interesting when you look at the average, my average hold time for winning trades is 7 minutes long, and the average hold time for losing trades is 4 minutes long. And I wanted to show you the trades. So if I look at you can see the left-hand side here, dashboard, calendar, reports. I just tend to live in reports. Trades is where you import the trades themselves, and it shows you all the details. You can tag your trades with anything that's important to you. And I'm looking at the trades for November, and if I see one I think is really good or really bad, I can go ahead and pull that up. I can go back to calendar, open it up, and then I can go ahead and look at specific days for the trades and how I did and look up their charts. So it's a great help in Tradervue to actually see what you did in the charts. And versus trading penny stocks, I tend to now trade in the 5-minute and 15-minute time frame. So you can see I want to see my biggest day in here was November 27th. I can double click on that, and then I can see my larger trade here. I want to know what I did that worked out so well. You can see that day I had 100% win rate. I wish that were true all the time. So here I can add notes if I want to. I tend to take notes though in a notebook, and if it's really something specific, I put it in here as well. But you can see the gross return. The shares I traded was 2,000 shares of IONQ for this trade. You can see the trades I did. So in Tradervue, it will actually show you when you're in there what your position is. So if you make a whole bunch of trades like I did, you can see I entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It will show you the average so you know you could get out and make money. So this is the 1-minute chart, which I don't really use when I'm trading mid caps. 5-minute chart, and it shows you that I was buying on the way down, which I've kind of learned to avoid because I got really stomped on one day when it kept going down. So I had to make that back in early December. But here I was going down, and then I bought again on the way up, and I sold when it was going quite a way up. And in the 15-minute view, you can see I was buying here, anticipating it going back up, and I started buying again, as you saw, on the way back up, and then I sold. I was lucky to sell right at the top. I was looking at level 2, and you could see the order flow, the live order flow, and I saw it all slow down. I went, aha, it's probably going to slip back. So I ended up selling that. So the nice thing is you can choose the indicators you want, and on the 5-minute here you can see one's the VWAP, and one is the 9 EMA. So VWAP, I usually have it as red. For some reason I don't have it as red, and I use it as a dotted line normally. Why it's not letting me change that, but anyway. Line with breaks, there we go. Okay. And then, so the 9 EMA, you can see down here, and then the volume weighted average price, which is really useful in showing you if the bears are in control, which they were here going down under the VWAP, or the bulls are back in control, which they were here when it was above VWAP. Anyway, so that's really, really helpful, these charts, and you can set up the charts yourself, going in here to your settings. There's all these kinds of settings, but you can set up your chart settings, how you want them. If you want to see 5-minute, 30-minute, when you're gold in Tradervue, you can have 4 charts that you see here, and you can choose your indicators. I have VWAP, moving averages, and so on. And I have 4 different timelines. And I could change these if I want. So trade settings, I have them split whenever possible so I can see as many of my executions as possible, drawdown reports, and so on. Anyway, so you could see where it would be very difficult otherwise. I tend to tag all my trades too, but so I know if they're mid-cap, what their volume was, what industry they're in, if they have news, what type of news it is. So I can, on the front page, I can scroll down to tag breakdown, and I can see all the tags I have, mixed market, if it's up market, down market, and so on. And I can see I'm doing real well on RVOL 1 to 25, and quantum computing, which is IONQ, if they have volume 21 to 30 million. You can see I don't do as well on earnings. News yesterday, there's a lot of continuation trades I do, so I do well with that too. So if they're up for the day, I even do well if they're up for the day. Down, actually, it shows -11 through -15, and news after hours. It's never ending, seems like, what you can do. So the other thing too is Tradervue actually tracks for you how you do by average true range. I like stocks that have a big true range. The average of what they move per day is the average true range. So I like them where they normally move quite a bit. So I do very well in stocks that have an average true range of between $1 and $2 a day, and the best between $2 and $5 a day in their movement. I tend to look for that when I'm analyzing stocks in FinViz. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe while you're at it. And also, go here to view my video playlist on trading mid-cap stocks, on using indicators like MACD, level 2, and also using analysis like Tradervue. So let me know in your comments below what your thoughts are, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.